Good afternoon. Okay, so today what I'm going to do is I am going to discuss this dashboard, 200-meter freestyle analysis at Olympics from 1968 to 2024. I'm going to go over what countries won the most amount of medals throughout that period. I'm going to go into the winning time and how that's trended over time from 1968 to 2024. And I'm going to go into some winning margin by athlete over this period as well. Okay, so as we can see here, this is an IBM Cognos analytics dashboard. The data retrieved here, I retrieved it from Kaggle, and the data set went to 2020, and I just added in the 2024 Olympics manually to that data set to bring it all together. So what we can see here straight up, we've got most gold medals in the 200 freestyle by country at the Olympics. We can see that Australia and the USA have won the most throughout this period here. So um, Australia is on three, as a count of three. The USA is on a count of three, and then we have a range of another nine countries, to be exact, that have all won one each in this period. So if we go Australia, sort of see on the map, if I look around, I can go, okay, yep, so we got Seoul, that was Duncan, and I'll convert those seconds into what the actual time was, just to make it a bit more understandable for those following along. And then we've sort of seen that trend down from 1968 there all the way until we get to 1996 in Atlanta. And after that, we start to see it sort of slow a bit, and then it starts to trend back down again, as we sort of see Thorpe and Van Hoogen Band and Thorpe down in through the Michael Phelps era. And as we sort of get past that sort of Phelps era and we come into more the 2016 era, what we can see in this sort of data set and what we'll touch on today is how the 200 freestyle time doesn't drop anymore, but what happens, anybody who knows swimming, more athletes come in and there's a higher volume of athletes swimming faster times. So there's a lot more athletes swimming 144, 145, comparatively to what there was 20 years back when Orpy was swimming. So if we look here, you can see in 24 that Popovici swim of 144.7 was pretty much on par with where Thorpe won it 20 years prior at in Athens on 144.7. So there wasn't really a lot of change in that sort of in that period, which has sort of raised a lot of questions in the swimming community about why like the 200 freestyle is getting faster. Now, if we sort of have a look at what I forecasted down here between 24 and 2036, we're sort of not really the model doesn't really demonstrate a very big decrease. And think, what could potentially happen is we could see athletes swimming in that 144, 145 category. And it could just be, winning margins of, 0.01, 0.1 being very close. And you might have 20 athletes going 145, and then the winner swims a 144, or which you just didn't see back in Thorpe's day in Athens. I believe it was Thorpe at 144, and then Kukenban 145, and Phelps maybe 146 or 145 high. So, and then the rest of the field was a long way back, 148s and that sort of thing. Now, something to note here, the average of 147.1 throughout 1968 to 2024 in the 200 freestyle is still a good enough time to make the Australian 200 freestyle relay, and it's still like a pretty reasonable sort of time today. So, I think it just sort of just shows that the standard has really um, just improved, and there's a lot more guys swimming fast times in the 200 freestyle, and it's going to take some innovation in terms of coaching to be able to bring that time from 144 down further to see some 143s and 142s. So if I'm looking now at winning margin by athlete here on the next tab, on the web, up on the top left-hand corner of the screen, we can see the athletes throughout this period that had the greatest winning margins. So we can see here that Michael Gross, he had a winning margin here of 1.7 seconds. So that was quite significant. If we look at Phelps, quite a decent winning margin here as well. Get that up. Yep. And then Yannick Agnel 1.8. So you can sort of see here the further away from the web or the closer they are to the circumference, that indicates that the athlete has won by a greater margin, as opposed to athletes like Tom Dean, for example, that are really close to the center of the circle, where it was quite a close race. Same with Popovici. So if I want to go now to athletes, I can go Australia, and I can now have a look here on the web. It's now become a triangle. I can see, okay, how much did these athletes win by? What was the winning margin? It was all pretty close. Realistically, Thorpe, Michael, and Duncan, all 0.5, 0.6 winning margins. So, didn't win by a crazy sort of amount there. Um, okay, so I'm just going to reset this now. All right, so down here, men's 200 freestyle, gold medal winning time at the Olympics, 68 to 24. We have we can see that it sort of started to trend down once again on the waterfall chart. And then come 2012, we really didn't sort of we saw it start to increase a little bit, 16, 20, 24. Okay, so it hasn't really, just haven't had the breakthroughs in times over that period. But as I mentioned before, a lot more volume of athletes swimming fast times throughout that period. Now, the last graph I'm going to touch on today, just quickly, is the winner's time versus the winning margin. So, what I find interesting here is in 1984, the winning margin was 1.7 seconds that the winner won by. And we saw a drop here from 82 to 84 in the winning time, from 149.8 down to 147.4. And then again, we see the same pattern here from 2004, sorry, to 2008. The winning margin increased. And as the winning margin increased from 0.5 to 1.8, we saw another drop here from 2000, from 144.7 down to, that should be a 143. Yep, 143.0. And again here, 143.1. The winning margin was really quick, really large again. So these are sort of world record, world class times here.